themselves.
Okay, good clue scriptures. Let's go back to our question now. How did Pharaoh not listen to Moses and Aaron? Isabel?
Because he was stubborn.
Ooh, he was stubborn. Yeah, that was one of the words that was used to describe him. Anybody remember another word from our other clue scripture there in Exodus? Anybody remember? Starts with an A. Isabel, do you remember?
Arrogant.
Arrogant. So those two go together. They both showed that Pharaoh basically, how did he feel about himself? Olivia?
Selfish.
Okay, selfish, yeah. Okay, go ahead, Jaden.
Arrogantly.
Okay, well, he was arrogant. Did he think, oh, Jehovah, of course I'll do what you want me to? Did he recognize Jehovah's sovereignty? That he was God? What do you think? Natasha?
No.
No, he didn't. Isabel?
He thought he was greater than Jehovah.
Oh, yeah. You may recall him, who is this Jehovah? Remember that? He'd never heard of him before. Or if he had, he acted like he had. That's how much he thought of himself. What did that build up? All that thinking so much of himself didn't allow him to do what? When these two men came and spoke, said they were from Jehovah, he wasn't able to what? Olivia?
Listen.
Yeah. Didn't even just turned off. Thought so much of himself. And so that's definitely something that we're recognizing here. Is this something we want to imitate? Do we want to be just like Pharaoh? Think so much of ourselves we can't obey? Natasha?
No.
No, we don't want to be like Pharaoh, do we? Okay. Well, let's see a different character that was in our story that we would want to imitate. Our question for our number 2 question says, how was Moses different from Pharaoh? So let's look at our clue scripture, Numbers 12:3, and that's going to be read by Rowan. Rowan, are you ready to read your scripture? Numbers chapter 12 and verse 3.
Now the man Moses was by far the meekest of all the men on the face of the earth.
Rowan, I can't see you back there. I just want to thank you for reading it that way. We need some life in there. That was really, really good. Especially when it's saying, by far the meekest. Okay? We want to take a minute before we ask the question and say, what does it mean to be meek? Jaden?
Not to have the foot in your mouth. Like the expression.
Okay, that's a good expression. Let's try another. What do you think, Olivia?
Humble.
Okay, yeah, really, it talks about being humble. So it's saying that by far, Moses was the most what?
Meekest.
Meekest or the most? Olivia?
Humble.
Yeah, he's the most humble of all the men on the earth. Do you think that's someone that would listen? Let's look at our question. How was Moses different from Pharaoh? Isabel?
Moses was humble and Pharaoh wasn't.
Okay. Now, did Moses have to listen to anybody? Or did he just make up his mind he was going to go into Egypt and say, let these people go? Jaden?
Moses chose to listen to Jehovah.
Very good. He was told what to do, right? Just like Pharaoh, but Moses did what differently? Moses... Natasha?
Listen to Jehovah.
Very good. Notice how they're different? One thought a lot of himself, and one didn't think so much of himself that he couldn't listen to Jehovah. And so he did. Well, how did this turn out for them? Let's look at our last question here. It says, why do you think it is better to be meek and mild rather than arrogant and stubborn? Well, to answer it, let's look at our clues, okay? got two more scriptures. The first one is Psalm 37, verse 11. And Natasha is going to read that one for us. Psalm 37, verse 11.
But the meek will possess the earth, and they will find exquisite delight in the abundance of peace.
Okay, very good. Let's take a minute and look at that scripture, see what it's saying. It says the meek, or the, what's the word for meek we learned? Jaden?
Mild.
Oh, that's not the word we gave to it. What was the word we gave to it? I know you know. You remember, Rowan? What's the other word for meek?
Arrogant.
That's the opposite. Starts with an H. Jade, give it to us.
Humble.
Humble. Very good. Okay, so let's go back to our scripture. It says that the humble will possess the earth and will find their exquisite delight in the abundance of peace. What does that mean? What does that mean? The humble will what? They'll possess the earth. Olivia?
Will live in everlasting life.
Yeah. Everlasting life on a paradise earth. That's what it's saying, that promise is. So, sounds pretty good to be humble, doesn't it? All right. Let's look at our other scripture. It is Zechariah 7, 8 through 12. And Jaden, we've got you reading that one, don't we? All right. Give everybody just a minute to get over to Zechariah. It's chapter 7, and verses 8 through 12.
The word of Jehovah again came to Zechariah, saying, This is what Jehovah of armies says. Judge with true justice, and deal with one another in loyal love and mercy. Do not defraud the widow or the fatherless child, the foreigner or the poor, and do not scheme evil against one another in your hearts. But they kept refusing to pay attention, and they stubbornly turned their backs, and they stopped up their ears so as not to hear.
Okay, very good. Good reading. Nice feeling in that too. We appreciate that good reading. So, again, here, let's analyze the scripture a little bit. We see that it's talking about ones that are meek and humble, or what here? Jaden?
Arrogant and stubborn.
Yeah, arrogant and stubborn. And notice it says what in verse 11? Something very similar to what happened with Pharaoh. They did not... Natasha?
Listen.
Yeah, they didn't hear. They didn't listen. So we see that same thing there. And it doesn't go well for them, does it? So let's look at our question. Why do you think it is better to be meek and mild, like Moses, rather than arrogant and stubborn, like Pharaoh? Why do you think? Rowan, why do we want to be like Moses?
Because Moses is going to live in the paradise, but Pharaoh will not.
Oh, that's a great reason to be meek and humble, isn't it? Jehovah promises, like we saw at Psalm 37:11, to live forever. Right? Natasha, did you have another comment? Same thing? Well, then that was a good answer too. Olivia?
If you're meek and mild, you have friends and people will like you. If you're like Pharaoh, nobody will like you, nobody will be your friend.
Yeah. You almost imagine Pharaoh like that, right? He had to probably order people to be his friend. Right? Yeah. Isabel, you had a comment?
Plus, no, Jehovah doesn't want Pharaoh in his paradise because God doesn't want mean people in his paradise.
Yeah, doesn't want mean, arrogant people, does he? Because they don't what? Arrogant, stubborn people just won't, just like a donkey. You're like, come on over here. They don't do what? Rowan?
They don't
They
listen.
don't listen. Do you like dealing with someone that doesn't listen?
No.
You ever had a dog that you say get over here and he don't come? Is that fun? No.
No.
Do you like it?
No.
We don't. Jehovah doesn't like it either. Jehovah doesn't like dealing with stubborn people. So, we want to think about now you. We talked about why it's good to be like Moses and not be like Pharaoh. And so we definitely want that, don't we? We all want to live in paradise, right? How can we make sure that we're being meek and humble and listening to Jehovah? How do you think? Does Jehovah ever speak to us? Natasha?
By being like Moses, we could live forever.
Okay. Copy his good example. Good. Jaden?
He speaks to us through the Bible.
Yeah. So when we read something in the Bible, we have to try to do it, don't we? How else is Jehovah directing us today? How is he talking to us today? Through who? Olivia? What do you think?
Through our prayers.
Okay, well, we talk to him through our prayers. Another P word I'm looking for. Isabel?
Through the governing bodies.
Okay, that's where we're fed spiritually. Looking for a good P word. How is Jehovah talking to us through our, everybody? No, whispering it. Say it. Audience?
Yes.
Hey, they know. Right? So we need to listen to our parents. Who is Jehovah directing to teach you? Natasha?
Our parents.
Your parents. So how can you be like Moses? Jaden?
Be humble and listen to our parents.
Yeah. And not only just listen to them, what did Moses do after he was told what to do? Then he, Rowan?
Obeyed.
Oh, wow, what a great answer. Then he obeyed. So you see, that's the kind of people that Jehovah wants to be citizens of his kingdom, to live forever on paradise earth. Ones that are like Moses. Ones that are humble, don't think too much of themselves. See, you guys get a little bit older, maybe like that crew over there, so they start thinking they know more than their parents. Something called being a teenager. We're going to avoid that for a while, right? But no, we want to always listen to our parents. We want to be humble and meek and recognize that Jehovah has assigned them to teach us. And so we need to be obedient. Well, very good, guys. Those are some really good answers. We appreciate your help, everyone, don't we? You did a good job.